Is the no pain, no gain mentality actually harmful to long-term fitness and health?
I like that one because
Do
we
you?
might have I like that one because I feel like we've gotten too soft. I feel like
Oh,
we've gotten too far to the you never should have any type of pain whatsoever. Like, any type of pain is bad. Any type of discomfort is bad. You should, and I'm guilty of this because I hedge too much on the safety side. So like even in my content, if I'm making content around lifting, I'm like, you don't want to like push past discomfort. But I only say that because I don't want someone to do it and not have like a good gauge of their own body and what's right and what's not, and then push past, then get injured, and then they fucking sue me. You know, where like where I actually think realistically you do in some points have to push past discomfort. There are times where it's important to push through some pain and understand the different types of pain. And yeah, so I do think that no pain, no gain, how it was when we were kids, when we were in like the early 2000s, late 90s, like that, I don't think that was very productive. But I also don't think it's the extreme opposite end where it's gone to now, where it's like just feel no pain ever, always be comfortable, just go to the spa, be pampered, don't push yourself. You don't ever need to be sore. Even the whole like soreness isn't a good indicator of progress, which I've said for years. I still believe soreness is not an indicator of progress. But at the same time, if you never get sore from working out, that is a very good indicator to me that you're not pushing yourself hard enough to actually make progress.
Yeah. Well said. I agree with the general pendulum swing too far in the direction away from, I guess pain is the word we're using here, but pain, discomfort, difficulty might almost be a better word. It's also important to understand when you're in positions where you could really hurt yourself, or you're in positions where some pain is okay, or higher levels of discomfort are okay. You know, if I'm doing, if I have like a nagging shoulder issue, me just being a random person, not me, and let's say on my dumbbell bench press, even my warm-up reps are causing like, there's pain where you're going really heavy and like this is very difficult and you need to push through it. But if you have extreme pain using a very light weight, something's probably wrong. And the correct answer isn't like, I'm just going to proceed normally with my workout here and just quote unquote push through this pain. The pain of the last few very difficult reps is different from ignoring an injury and pushing through and being a bonehead and making something worse.
I also feel like there's this chronic avoidance of anything that could potentially cause an injury, where it's like people are so worried about doing anything that could potentially cause an injury that I think, number one, I think this could, and this is like fully, I can't prove this, but right,
Okay.
like that old that thing that we did years ago where like we have no scientific evidence, but I believe this.
Yep.
So we know, and we can prove this, that pain is not just based on something physiologically wrong. Like pain there are mental, emotional, psychological aspects of pain. There's so many aspects of it that are mental. And I think that if you're chronically trying to avoid pain, I actually think you're more likely to feel pain. And if you're chronically trying to avoid an injury, I think you're more likely to think that you've got an injury. Right? Like if you're like, oh my gosh, if I go to this range of motion, I'm going to get injured. And then all of a sudden you like something, oh my God, I think I'm injured. And then you can literally create pain and create this feeling of an injury. And I think this chronic avoidance of ever going into any range of motion that could potentially cause pain or injury or doing certain movements, I think it's not good. Now, we also have to understand what population we're working with and what their goals are. I think in the same way that with money and with investing, when you're younger, you can be riskier. Same thing with fitness and with movement. When you're younger, you can be riskier with what you do, I think. Especially if your goals are more performance-based and more like trying to achieve higher levels of athleticism and do more extreme things. as you get older, the amount of risk that you should put into your training should diminish significantly. Like, there's no reason to be risking extreme ranges of motion. There's no reason to be risking extremes, especially when you just want to feel good. You don't want to be injured. You don't want to be risking this stuff. But at the same time, there is, I think, the chronic avoidance of doing anything that could risk injury is actually going to hinder you long term.
Yeah. And this advice needs to be completely tailored to where someone is with their training and their mindset, right?
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people who are not training hard enough, many out of fear of injury. And that's great advice for those people. Mm-hmm. And then there are people like David Lade, who's a big time fitness guy, someone who comes to mind who, when he was 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, I mean, I think he deadlifted like 700, under 200 pounds, like super heavy squat, benched. I don't know if he got up to 400-pound bench, but now his lumbar spine and one or both of his shoulders have been wrecked for like, it's been years and years of very light training and constant physical therapy. So that population is in the minority of the, I take everything to the extreme, but this advice needs to be tailored to.
He was also on a lot of drugs, right?
I don't believe he has ever publicly stated that.
Got it. But you think he was?
I like him. I'm a fan. Yes.
It's not a bad thing, but just realistically, was probably on a bunch of drugs too.
Correct.
Which then allows you to push more and more and more, which then, wreaks havoc on your body.
Yeah.